We interrupt this program to bring you an important Wayfair message. Wayfair's got style tips for every home. This is Styles McKenzie helping you make those rooms sing. Today's style tip. When it comes to making a statement, treat bold patterns like neutrals. Go wild, like an untamed animal print area rug under a rustic farmhouse table from Wayfair.com. Arr, fierce. This has been your Wayfair style tip to keep those interiors superior.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is VSiN PrimeTime. Live from the Circus Sportsbook in downtown Las Vegas on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Scott Seidenberg back here with you. It is VSiN PrimeTime here on the Sports Betting Network as we are monitoring all the playoff action. We got about 4 minutes and 25 seconds left to go in the first half of the Knicks Pacers Game 1 of the NBA's Eastern Conference Finals. The Knicks closed as a 4.5-point favorite. They lead 56-51 right now. Your live line is Knicks minus 6.5. They lead 56-51. 4 minutes left in the half. Minus 6.5 is your live line. The total got bet down to 221.5. And after a monster first quarter in which the Pacers were shooting 73% from the field, it shot all the way up, and we're still at a very, very high pace here. Total is now 239.5. We have placed multiple live bets on the under throughout this first half as we are expecting this game to come back down. I tweeted out something earlier. You guys can follow me on Twitter at ScottsOnAir, SCOTTSONAIR, that last year in game number 7 in the Knicks-Pacers second round series, the Pacers set an all-time NBA record for the highest field goal percentage in a playoff game by shooting 67.1% from the field. Well, through the first quarter and the first 2 to 3 minutes of the second quarter in this game, the Pacers were shooting 72%. And right now, as expected, it has come back down to earth. Pacers are now shooting 52.8%. So the misses have started to come here, and that is what we expected. This is where live betting can be an extremely profitable trend. If you follow it and you pay attention, you can get some good numbers here. The number's still high. Hoping that this game does slow down, especially once we get into the second half here. Defense tends to pick up in the second half, but your live total is at 237.5. As we recommended the live play at the end of the first quarter. It was 235.5 at that point. I got it in, worse numbers than that. I got in at 230.5. I got in at 233.5. So we'll see what happens as we progress throughout the rest of this first half. And once we get to the half, we will be joined by the newest member of our crew here at VSiN, Dan Karpuc, who has a great article up on VSiN.com with prop plays. He's very big into the prop market here in the NBA, and a prop that I'm on that actually Dan's on kind of as well. Karl-Anthony Towns. Dan does expect a big night from Karl-Anthony Towns. He played, if you read his article up on VSiN.com, Karl-Anthony Towns to go over his points plus rebounds. I just bet the over 22.5 points. Right now, Karl-Anthony Towns has 13 points on a perfect 3 of 3 from three-point range. So I kind of wish I bet that Karl-Anthony Towns to be the series leader in three-pointers. But he's got 13 points, 3 of 3 from three-point range. He does have 4 rebounds, so 17 total here if you're keeping track of the points plus rebounds prop for Karl-Anthony Towns, 13 points and 4 rebounds. Jalen Brunson, meanwhile, has 9 points, and at some point, and we're going to check this, and I don't know if I'm going to bet it at the half or if I'm going to wait till the start of the fourth quarter, but I will be placing a live bet on Jalen Brunson's player points. We're going to go under Brunson. Not under. That was a Freudian slip. We're going to go over Brunson points on the adjusted line, either at the half or before the start of the fourth quarter. Because when this game reaches the clutch minutes, assuming it stays close, and right now it's 58-54, assuming it stays close, Brunson's going to be key late in the game. So he might be conserving a little bit of energy now. He is 4 of 9 from the field, but he's 0 of 3 from three-point range, and he's only gotten to the free throw line once. He's 1 of 2 from the free throw line. But as we get later on in this game, it'll become Brunson time. So Jalen Brunson's only got 9 points right now. We're going to continue to monitor it because there will be a time where we will be on the live over on Jalen Brunson. His Karl-Anthony Towns live number right now is at 26.5. Brunson is up to 26.5 as well, as he has 11 points. He just made a couple of free throws. So we're going to monitor it. I might play it at the half, but we're going to talk to Dan coming up maybe in our next segment here once this game goes to the half, as we'll get his thoughts on how he expects the second half to play out. Meanwhile, first intermission right now in Dallas. The Stars have evened things up with the Oilers. It is a 1-1 game after the first intermission. So Leon Draisaitl scored the first goal of the game, the assist to both Darnell Nurse and Connor McDavid. And then it was Tyler Seguin on a turnover and a breakaway, scoring the first goal for the Dallas Stars as he beat Stuart Skinner on a nice wrist shot there on the breakaway. 1-1 is your score after the first period. And let's do, as we always do, take a look inside the advanced numbers after the first period. Your live line right now is Dallas minus 130. Slightly below what it was before the game because Dallas did get bet up from a minus 125 favorite to a minus 130, minus 135, even minus 140. And your live total is at 6.5. That's what it was prior to the game beginning. Congratulations if you bet over 1.5 goals in the first period. You cash that with the 1-1 draw here. And if you bet the draw, cool. That's a nice way to play it. But here's where we are analytically in that first period. So looking at the box score in terms of shots on goal, 11 for the Oilers, 9 for the Dallas Stars. There has been one power play opportunity that was for the Dallas Stars, and they did not cash in on that power play. We're going to look at just even strength situations in this first period. So we're going to take out that power play. But at even strength, there has been 27 Corsi attempts for, and the explanation for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, hi, I'm Scott Seidenberg. I do like to look at all these advanced stats when it comes to hockey. The 2 possession stats that are big in the analytical world here in hockey are Corsi and Fenwick. Corsi measures all of your shot attempts. Every time you take a shot, doesn't matter if it's blocked, doesn't matter if it gets through the net, whatever it is, every shot attempt is measured. Your Fenwick stat takes out the block shots. I actually think that's a better measure of a team's dominance. Like if you're dominating the possession, you're dominating the pace of play, you're getting more pucks towards the net. I think that's a better example of you controlling the flow of the game as opposed to how many attempts you take. Because if they're getting blocked, like those aren't good attempts. You know, you're not getting through the net. It's like, or not, you know, not. It's what are you going to do with those? But here's where we are after the first period. 18 minutes of even strength play, because of the 2-minute power play we're going to take out of it. The Oilers, 27 Corsi attempts, 27 attempts at the net, shots, 18 for the Dallas Stars. But taking out the block shots, so how many shots actually got through? 19 for the Oilers, 14 for the Stars, and 10 apiece on net. 10 apiece, even. If we look at the scoring chances, 9 scoring chances for the Stars, 10 for the Oilers. High danger scoring chances, 5 for the Stars and 4 for the Oilers. Your score is 1-1. Your expected goals, and again, this is only at even strength. Your expected goals, right where we are, 1.01 for Dallas, 1.2 for Edmonton. And it's a 1-1 game. If we look at all situations, so we include the power play, obviously the numbers may be a little bit better for the Stars because they were on that power play. But in even strength situations, this game is played out pretty evenly. Now, I know that the Oilers have had more attempts, more shots, but a lot of those haven't gotten through the net. If you just look at the ones that have gotten through, that Fenwick number that I talk about, 19-14, in favor of the Oilers, but a lot closer than what the other numbers tell you. And then with the scoring chances, even. High danger scoring chances, pretty even. And the goals, the expected goals, right there with the actual goals. This has been an even first period. So no change in my opinion for the game. I like the fact that Ottinger settled down after allowing that goal. I like the fact that Seguin scored on a breakaway. So I still give the advantage here to the Dallas Stars. I still give the advantage to Jake Ottinger in net. And the home ice, to me, means something. So I do like the Dallas Stars line right now. You can get it at -130, which is a little bit of a discount to what you had prior to the game starting. And I think it's a good opportunity because it's the same handicap that I had before the game. Nothing changed after what was a very even first period if you look at just all of the analytical numbers. A very even first period. We're tied at 1. I would still take a shot. If you didn't buy in already, like I wouldn't double down on it, but if you didn't buy in already on the Dallas Stars, that would be my recommendation to go with the Dallas Stars. Again, even first period, 1-1. We'll take a look at where we are for the second period totals. If you want to play a second period to go over, live total is at 6.5. Second period over 1.5 is -165. That is too rich for my blood. Plus 195 on the draw, though. I don't hate it. Could these teams be tied going into the third period? I might take, I don't know. How about Dallas? If you think Dallas is going to win the second period, you can get plus 145 on that. That seems pretty fun. Hey, if you want to know where the real money is going, unlike other sources, our betting splits come straight from Circa and DraftKings Sportsbooks, giving you the insight into where the sharp action is landing. Circa is known for taking big bets from professional bettors, while DraftKings providing a broader market perspective. That means you're getting the real action, not just the public money, but the kind of wagers that move lines. See the percentage of bets versus the percentage of handle on every game across every major sport, helping you make smarter, more informed bets. Get VSiN's exclusive betting splits for as little as $9.99 for your first month at vsin.com/subscribe. I'm Scott Seidenberg, always on Twitter at ScottsOnAir, SCOTTSONAIR. We are at the half at the Garden, with the Knicks leading 69-62 over the Pacers. Second half bets coming up next here on VSiN Primetime.
We interrupt this program to bring you an important Wayfair message. Wayfair's got style tips for every home. This is Styles McKenzie helping you make those rooms sing. Today's style tip: when it comes to making a statement, treat bold patterns like neutrals. Go wild, like an untamed animal print area rug under a rustic farmhouse table from Wayfair.com. Fierce. This has been your Wayfair style tip to keep those interiors superior.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
If you work in quality control at a candy factory, you know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger. Grainger helps you find the high quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Back here on VSiN Primetime. I'm Scott Seidenberg here with you on the Sports Betting Network as we take a look at the second half lines after what was a very high-scoring first half between the Knicks and the Pacers. This game closed with the Knicks as a 4.5-point favorite and the total being bet down to 221.5. Well, after a very high-scoring first quarter that was 36-34 in favor of the Knicks, another high-scoring second quarter, although not necessarily, listen, it was a little lower scoring than the first quarter. It was still high scoring. And right now at the half, the Knicks lead 69-62. I have betting FOMO here, as with 3 minutes left in the first half, I talked about possibly petting Jalen Brunson to go over his adjusted point prop. With he only had 9 points at that time, and I said, let's wait till the half and let's see what the number is at the half, because then we're going to go in on an over on Jalen Brunson's points at the half. Well, Brunson scored 9 points in those final 3 minutes of the first half. He now has 18 points to lead the way for the Knicks, and so no value on Jalen Brunson's adjusted point prop right now, which is at 33 and a half, as he has 18 points. So we're not going to bet that now. We might look at the start of the fourth quarter. That might be something that we're going to take a look at. But our best bet that we gave out before the game was on Karl-Anthony Towns over 22.5 points. He has 15 points through the first half. His live number right now is 26.5. For the Pacers, Tyrese Halliburton's got 14 points. His adjusted total right now is 23.5. Elsewhere for the Pacers, Miles Turner's got 12 points. Turner and Cat went back and forth at the start of this game. I mean, it seemed like Miles Turner had 10 points early on in the first quarter, and that's about it. Meanwhile, Karl-Anthony Towns had 8 points early on, shooting 2 of 2 from three-point range. He made another 3 in that second quarter, and so he has 15 points on 3 of 3 shooting from three-point range, 5 of 7 from the field. And elsewhere, Mikal Bridges got 12 points for the Knicks. Josh Hart has 8. Josh Hart's got 6 rebounds already, so that's one that I liked. I did like Josh Hart to go over 9.5 rebounds. He's got 6 already. Cat's got 5. Off the bench, Cameron Payne's got 6 points. Mitchell Robinson's got 2 with 3 rebounds. And Miles Deuce McBride has got 5 points. He's made 1 3-pointer, so our 75-1 long shot bet on Deuce McBride to lead the series in threes. Going to need some more shots here, Deuce. Get in the game and start chucking them up here. Your other props, Tyrese Halliburton does have 6 assists, and he was the overwhelming favorite to lead this series in assists, and he leads the game in assists right now. And I mentioned before, he's the only player that I would bet on that prop. But I talked about earlier how the Pacers were shooting just at a historic pace in the first half. Well, in the first quarter and the first 2 minutes or so of the second quarter, just a historic pace for the Indiana Pacers. 72% from the field was just never going to be sustainable. Well, that has cooled off. Both teams have cooled off. Both teams are shooting 51% from the field. And I do expect these numbers to actually get a little bit lower or just maintain where they are right now. And as long as we don't have a situation where the game gets to where the teams are shooting in the 70% range, this is going to trend towards an under. So the bet that I'm going to make here for the second half is going to be the second half to go under. It is 69-62. Your live total is 244.5. I already placed multiple bets on the live totals and got bad numbers compared to what you can get right now. So if you want to bet the live game to go under, 244.5 is what I would play that right now. I'd play this live under. If you're looking at the second half specifically, it's at, now it has been bet down. It was at 114.5. Now it's 113.5. So money is coming in on the second half under. Actually, let's see. Circa's got 115. Actually, Circa's got 115.5. Well, I'd like to bet that. I think that's a point worse than what I got. I got 114.5. Circa's got 115.5. Now I have more betting FOMO, but that's all right. So let's go. We're going to go under in the second half. I got to imagine that both Tibbs and Carlisle are just ripping their guys in the locker room right now. Especially Tibbs. The Knicks, who have prided themselves on defense just in this Tibbs era and just in these playoffs, they've been one of the best defensive net rating teams. To allow the Pacers to score 34 in the first quarter, shooting 72% from the field, 62 points in the first half, like that's unacceptable numbers here. The Knicks have to be better defensively. And ultimately, I think they will be better defensively. I mean, if you look at that Boston series, Boston scored 35 in the second quarter in game number 1, and then the Knicks held them to only 23 in the third quarter. Now let's go to game 2 in that series, where it was much lower scoring. Celtics scored only 26 in the second quarter, got held to 23 in the third quarter. In game number 3, Celtics scored 35 points in the second quarter. 36 in the first quarter, 35 in the second quarter, only 25 in the third quarter. So now we're getting a theme here, 23, 23, 25. In the next game, Celtics with only 23 points in the third quarter after 39 in the first quarter, 23 in the second, 23 in the third. Then Celtics scored 30 in the first quarter, 29 in the second quarter, big third quarter, 32 points. That was the essentially the win one for the Gipper game after Jason Tatum got hurt, and then 20 points in the closeout game of that series. Against the Pistons in the closeout game, they held Detroit to 24 points in the third quarter. In the game before that, they held the Pistons to, well, that was 28. That's a high-scoring quarter there. Let's see, game number 1, 36. That was a big quarter for the Pistons. Next game was 20 points, so the average coming back down. Game after that, 30 points. That was actually pretty high. And 28 points. But overall, the averages, and especially what they did against Boston, does help them. Third quarter has been better defensively for the Knicks. So let's look at some third quarter numbers here, because I feel like this is about to be a game where the Knicks pull away. I feel like it's setting up right now. The Pacers got every shot essentially in that first quarter. And even with the hot shooting, the Knicks still found themselves really right in the game, and then, have come back here and have taken the lead in the final couple of minutes, the final stretch, if you will, of the of this second quarter of the first half. I feel like I want to go under a Pacers third quarter team total. Pacers third quarter team total is 28.5. Now, do I want to just do under that, or do I want to go under 58.5 for the third quarter? Let's see if it's 28, 25, 23, it's 50, 20, 20. Let's go 28, 25. No, that's 53. What do we think it's going to be? Do we think it's going to be like 30? Do we think it's going to be that high scoring? Do we think one of these teams gets up to 30 in the third quarter? I mean, let's look at the team totals. So Pacers are 28.5, Knicks are 29.5. I think we see a Knicks defensive effort here in the third quarter. I think Tibbs is going to reinforce some defense here in the third quarter. So I think I want to go in on Pacers third quarter team total to go under. The hot shooting to start the game, I don't think it comes into play here in this quarter. I think just in general, I'm on the under in the second half. I think we get a lower scoring second half. But I think for the third quarter especially here, I think this is where the defense comes in. And so I would go second half line is up to 115.5. I would play an under. I'd play an under 115.5. And yeah, I think if we're specifically targeting, let's say the Pacers, maybe just go under the Pacers team total in the second half of 58. I think I like that as a bet, because I like them under in this third quarter. And so let's say they score 26 points or 27 points and go under in this third quarter. Well, then they score, 30 in the fourth quarters. The most maybe I think they're going to get 58 points for the half. I think they go under in both. I like that, actually. So, a couple of bets here. Let's go under third quarter team total for the Pacers, 27.5 or 28.5 under. And I like under in the second half in general for both these teams, but I target the Pacers specifically and go under their team total third quarter or under their team total for the second half. Hey, coming up next, new VSiN NBA props writer Dan Karpuc will join me, Scott Seidenberg, right here on VSiN PrimeTime. Back here on VSiN PrimeTime. I'm Scott Seidenberg with you here on the Sports Betting Network. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins has scored for the Oilers on the power play as we have, about 13 minutes to go in the second period. Oilers with a 2-1 lead over the Dallas Stars. Meanwhile, third quarter action is underway right now at Madison Square Garden. The Knicks, a 71-62 lead over the Pacers. And joining us now on the Progressive Guest Line, our newest contributor at VSiN.com, Dan Karpuc, who does great stuff with NBA props. Dan and I are aligned on one player in this game, and that is Karl-Anthony Towns. Dan, thanks so much for joining us here on VSiN Primetime. Talk to me about your Karl-Anthony Towns bet, and what did you like, what did you not like from that first half?
Yeah. Karl-Anthony Towns, pleasure to be with you, by the way. I'm really happy to be here and be on with you tonight here. But 15-5 in the first half. I liked his over 34.5 points plus rebounds. He's looking good. He's one of these guys that I like to target. We get that concentrated volume here on the Knicks side. We kind of know what to expect. I'm looking forward to seeing him really continue to be aggressive here in the second half. I am a little worried, though, about one of my other props, Obi Toppin. I can't stop thinking about it. You know that missed dunk that he had? I had over 7.5 points, and he has 2 points right now. I know he's going to somehow end up with 7 and just burn me. So I really want to see him redeem himself here in the second half. And then I had Benedict Mathurin over 10.5 points. He has 5 on just 1 of 3 shooting. Very passive in the first half. I want him to be more aggressive here in the second half. We know he's limited defensively, but he's one of these guys that could really fill it up. So really want him to have a nice, strong second half here. But overall, if that's an indication of how the series is going to go, it's going to be really fun, and I really hope it goes 7 games.
Yeah, I looked at, I have Karl-Anthony Towns over 22.5 points, so I was happy with the 15 points that he got in the first half. I'd like to see him score some more. It's funny, I was talking with about 3 minutes left to go in the first half. I was saying Jalen Brunson only has 9 points, and I'd be looking at a Brunson live player points to go over, but let's wait till halftime. And what does he do, Dan? He scores 9 points in the final 3 minutes of the half, and he finishes with 18. So the value completely gone here. But that being said, I still might look at a points prop once we get to the fourth quarter, because we know that's when Jalen Brunson shines, is in the clutch moments here. So I'm gonna wait till the third quarter ends, and I'm gonna look at Brunson's numbers going into the fourth quarter, and maybe take a look at the live over once we get to the fourth quarter. What do you think about that?
You know, that's so funny. I was actually doing the same exact thing, and then I was like, at halftime I saw 18. I was like, wait a second. His live point prop was 33.5. So, not much value there. He needed 16, obviously, in the second half. But, to point out, just going off of what you just said, 16.8 points per game in the second half. But like you said, those in the playoffs, I should say. But those clutch moments, looking back at the regular season, 5.6 clutch points per game in the regular season. That was best among all NBA starters, and 5.4 in these playoffs. So I'm right with you there. I'm going to wait till the fourth quarter as well and do the same thing as you.
Yeah, that's the play that I'm on. For the second half, I did bet the under in the second half, and I did bet the under in the Pacers team total in the second half. I tweeted out earlier, Dan, that the Pacers last year in game number 7 of that second round series against the Knicks, they set the NBA record, the highest field goal percentage in the history of an NBA playoff game, shooting 67.1%. Through the first 15 minutes of this game, they were shooting 72%. Now, that has clearly come back down to earth as we look at the team stats right now with a couple of minutes into the third quarter. They're at 49%. So that's how much they've come back down. And I expect it to even come down further as defense will tighten up here as we get to the second half. Is that something that you thought about at the half, maybe looking at the game to go under or a specific team to go under? Like, where were you on the total based on the ridiculous scoring that we saw in the first half?
Yeah, I did some digging here at halftime, and the pace for both of these teams after halftime in the second half goes pretty way down on both teams here in the playoffs. And both of these teams also in the playoffs, 39.9% from 3 for the Knicks, 39.6% from 3 for the Pacers. So almost 40% on the dot for both of these teams in the second half. That's not sustainable, in my opinion, here. Like you said, they got to that historic start today. But these teams are going to play tight in the second quarter. It's going to be physical. Like you said, both of these teams are going to tighten it up here defensively in the second half. And something that's really also impactful is the fact that both of these coaches have tons of head coaching experience. Like, I'm a Celtics fan, and unfortunately I saw what Tom Thibodeau did at halftime against Joe Mazzulla in a couple of those games last series. Both of these guys are going to make adjustments, and I don't expect it to be as easy for either offense here in the second half. There were, in those first 6 minutes-ish of the game, both of these teams are getting really easy looks. I don't think that's going to happen here in the second half.
I agree, and I joked about it in our last segment. I said as soon as this game went to the half, Tibbs and Carlisle are just ripping into their guys, especially Tibbs, who prides himself on defense. And then I looked at some of the third quarters, like especially as you mentioned in that Celtics series, Dan, the Knicks were able to limit the Celtics in those third quarters. So I did look at maybe, Pacers under 28.5 in that third quarter. I decided to go with the 58 for the full second half, and then the full second half to go under. I do have multiple bets on the game under, which now is coming a little bit back down. Live total is at 236.5 right now, as we've had a low-scoring start to this third quarter. Only a couple minutes in, but it's 71-64 Knicks. Knicks live line right now is -6.5. Your live total, 236.5. Joining us now on the Progressive guest line, our newest contributor to VSiN.com, Dan Karpuc, who is an NBA player props specialist. So we're going to monitor the rest of the game here, Dan, and see how these Knicks-Pacers props play out. But let's talk about the Western Conference Finals. It was an exciting game number one. OKC did their thing. Game number two coming up tomorrow back in OKC. The Thunder are now up to an 8-point favorite, total of 214.5. Where are you looking from a player prop perspective?
Yeah, I'm going to go right back to where I was in game one and go right back to that Timberwolves bench, specifically Dante DiVincenzo, Naz Reid, and Nickeil Walker-Alexander. These three guys played a bunch of minutes in game one, just like I thought they would here. And I did a lot of digging into the numbers, and I love DiVincenzo over 2.5 made threes. You could get this at plus money. Now, game one, he went 3 of 12 from three, but I did a bit of a deeper dive here into why this might even be a buy low spot here. So he took 14 total shots. 12 of them came from beyond the arc, first of all. But all 12 of those threes were classified as either open or wide open per NBA.com's tracking data. So he was 1 for 9 on wide open threes. So the defender had to be 6+ feet away. 2 for 3 on open looks. So the defender was 4 to 6 feet away. So 3 of those misses also just rimmed out. I know that from just moaning and groaning myself and keeping a tally. There was a clear sign that he was really close to a much bigger night. He could have easily hit 6 last night. And with Mike Conley showing his age here, that he's not going to be in the game for very long. DiVincenzo played 30 minutes in game one. I think he's going to have another heavy workload here in game two. So, and he hit 42.6% of wide open threes during the regular season. So he's not going to go 1 for 9 again when he's left alone out there. Also, Naz Reid, another guy that I love here, over 17.5 points plus rebounds plus assists. He went 62 and 31 to the over on this during the whole season, including the playoffs here. And he had a terrible game one. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. Played 28 minutes, but Rudy Gobert only played 21. That's not a coincidence. That's going to happen here. The Thunder like to play fast. They like to switch. And Reid's mobility, floor spacing, decision-making, I think you really make him the guy to go to for Chris Finch here. That role is not going to go anywhere in game two. He shot just 1 for 11 overall and 0 for 7 from 3 in game one. He had just 4 points, but 4 of those misses were wide open threes, and he shot 40% on wide open looks during the regular season. So another guy that just rimmed out, and we just got really unlucky with how clean those looks were. He also grabbed 8 rebounds on 10 chances and had 4 assists on 6 potential assists. So he did a little bit of everything there. Finished with 16 points, rebounds, and assists, just shy of that number, and he did that with basically doing nothing offensively. So I love that for a guy that could easily go over in points alone. And then finally, Nickeil Walker-Alexander over 6.5 points. This is another sneaky value spot here. He had 8 points in game one, and he was another guy that shot terrible off the bench. 3 for 11 overall, but 2 of 9 from 3. So really aggressive. He was 1 for 6 on wide open threes. So that level of shot quality, I want to buy low again. here at this number, especially with how consistent that role looks. 28 minutes off the bench, and he's another guy who's going to benefit from Conley being off the floor. And of course, there's a fun narrative here too that SGA is his cousin. So he's done well. He's done well against his cousin here. He's had 8, 21, 18, 14, 8, and 12. So 6 in a row against his cousin that he's gone over this mark.
I like it, Dan. I like it, Dan. Hey, Dan, great stuff. Continued success. Welcome to the team, and we'll be reading along at VSiN.com. Appreciate you there, Dan Karpuc. Hey, if you guys are ready to get in on the action, First Bet has you covered. Sign up now to access exclusive promotions and bet on hundreds of thrilling horse races every day. Visit firstbet.com. That's the number one, stbet.com. Use promo code VSiN.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Back here on VSiN PrimeTime. I'm Scott Seidenberg, right here with you on the Sports Betting Network. My thanks to Dan Karpuc, newest member up on VSiN.com. Read his player props article every day throughout these NBA playoffs and get the edge here for your best bets as we are tracking our guy Karl Anthony Towns, who we do have the over 22.5 points. And Cat is at the free throw line right now. He's got 18 points, so make another free throw here, and Cat will sit here at 19 points, but he does have 5 rebounds, so he's got 18 and 5 right now. He is shooting the second of free throw here. Knicks lead 80-74 with about 5 and change to go here in this third quarter, and we're hoping that the scoring, stays tight, slows down, and as soon as we get back into play here, we'll monitor what's going on with the live totals. Just want to see if Cat can make the second free throw and make us happy here. And he misses it, of course. All right, so your live number right now is we have 80-76. The Knicks lead the Pacers with 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Knicks are minus 4.5 on your live line. That's exactly what it was prior to this game starting. And your live total here is 236.5. So it did slow down. Now it's right around where it was when we recommended it at the half. So, or at the end of the first quarter is when we recommended it. But we're going to need it to continue to slow down a bit here. Defense maybe picking up here. This is trending towards a lower scoring third quarter. So the second half looks all right, but going to need this to, to see what happens here over the course of this next 4 minutes and 44 seconds, with the score being 80-76, Knicks leading the Indiana Pacers. Checking in on what's going on the ice, Evan Bouchard. It wasn't a Bouch bomb, but it was an Evan Bouchard wrist shot, if you will. So like a Bouch, not a bomb, but like a Bouch missile or bullet, Bouch bullet. Yeah, we'll call it a Bouch bullet. That sounds nice. Evan Bouchard scoring his 5th goal of the playoffs as the Oilers have a 3-1 lead over the Stars with 5:40 to go in the second period. Your shots on goal for both of these teams right now. The Oilers have 19 shots on goal, 14 for the Dallas Stars. One power play opportunity for each team. Dallas's came in the first period, and they were unsuccessful on their power play. The Oilers had one here early in the second period, and they converted, scoring the power play goal. That was the goal that was scored by Ryan Nugent-Hopkins about 6 minutes in to this second period. But we got 5 minutes left in this second period. Edmonton with a 3-1 lead over Dallas, and I think somebody might be headed to the power play. Let's see what happens here. It looks like maybe not. Refs were skating and looking at something here, and the camera's just highlighting Pete DeBoer, the head coach here of the Dallas Stars. So it actually is a penalty on Dallas. How about that? Thomas Harley gets called for interference. And so at 5 minutes and 11 seconds left, the Oilers will head to the power play. And we know how deadly their power play has been. Your live market right now is the Oilers, with 5 minutes to go in the second period, are an overwhelming favorite to win the game. Forget about that. The puck line, though, is -2.5 and -120. If you want to take +2.5 with the Dallas Stars, it's at -110. So the Stars, who were a -135 to -140 favorite prior to this game beginning, right now here, 5 minutes left in the second period, you can get them +2.5 goals at -110. Your total is at 6.5, and it is juiced to the over at -175. This game closed at 6.5 with it juiced to the under, and then after a 1-1 first period, it was still 6.5. It got down to 5.5. Now with the Oilers scoring twice and them about to go on a power play, and as I mentioned, how deadly their power play has been, the over 6.5 is -175. I will say this. I think rather than it, I still think Dallas has some fight in them in this game. Obviously, for my bet, I hope they win. It's not looking likely with them being down 3-1. But if I believe Dallas is going to come back in this game and make a game of it, then I gotta like the over at over 6.5. Now, I don't really want to lay -175. I guess I could wait to see if they kill off this power play. If the Stars kill off this power play, then this total might go down. I don't think it's going to get down to 5.5, but maybe the juice will get down, and you can get the over 6.5 at reduced VIG compared to the -175 that it is right now. Because if Dallas is going to come back, well, first off, they come back and win the game, you're getting the over 6.5. 4-3 is 7. You're going to get that. 3-3, you're guaranteed to get the over. But if they make it 3-2, the empty net comes into play, and it could be 4-2, and there could actually be multiple empty nets that make it 5-2. So there are ways to get at an over 6.5 without having Dallas all the way come back to win the game. But I'm more comfortable in the over 6.5 than I am with Dallas at +2.5 goals, if that makes sense. Only because, I just don't want to rely on only one team to do the scoring. Now, obviously, it would be great if Dallas did do that and they tied it at 3. It's a real easy way to get to over 6.5. But what if Edmonton just rolls here? What if the Oilers just go on and dominate? And what if they score 2 more, 3 more goals? I mean, it is possible. They are that good. They have that much firepower. And when handicapping this series, it's been, it's who's gonna have the edge? Is it the offense of the Oilers, or is it the goaltending of the Dallas Stars? And I mentioned Dallas's inability to get scoring from really anybody else on their lineup, as 5 guys have contributed for about 80% of their goals so far in these playoffs. But if they can kill off this penalty, I might take a look at a live total here. There's 3 minutes and 50 seconds left to go. Oilers still on this power play. Over 6.5 right now is -154. Meanwhile, on the in the NBA, 2:56 left to go in the third quarter. Knicks lead the Pacers 85-81. So if you're keeping track of the score just in this third quarter, 19-16. Pacers lead the Knicks with 2:44 left. And we did take the second half under. We took the Pacers team total under in the second half. We recommended the under 28.5 for the Pacers in the third quarter. So I would like the Pacers to not score anymore. But the live total is now 234.5. Your live line is Knicks -3.5. So it has gone down a bit. So that's good. We're trending towards an under here. Looking all right here. As far as your points prop is concerned, Karl-Anthony Towns does have 18 points. So we need 5 more points from Karl-Anthony Towns to hit our best bet of over 22.5. Jalen Brunson's got 27 points. And the crazy part about Jalen Brunson's 27 points is he hasn't made a three-pointer. Jalen Brunson has 27 points in this game on 10 of 16 shooting. He has not made a three-pointer. He is 0 of 3 from three-point range. That I did not think was going to happen. So I might be looking at a live bet here once this quarter comes to a close. If I can get like a prop or something on if there's a book out there that has Jalen Brunson like over a half a three-pointer, I think he'll make one in the fourth quarter. Watch, of course, this is the same thing's going to happen, like I said, at the end of the first half. Watch him go and score, have like 3 3-pointers now at the end of this half. But we'll wait and see how that plays out. as we take a step away from the playoff action here for a moment, I want to get you caught up on what's going on in Major League Baseball. We didn't give it out. We talked about it with Greg Peterson. It was a bet that I made. It was a bet that I liked, and one that we kind of, toyed with a little bit because it had hit in the previous 2 games in this series. Well, now it's 3 for 3. 3 games in Colorado in this series for the Phillies. All 3 games, they have gone over their team total of 6.5 runs. They lead 7-3 over the Rockies in the top of the 5th inning there in Colorado. So they went over in game number 1, scoring 9. They went over in game number 2, scoring 7. And they've already gone over here in game number 3 with 7 runs already. So the team total for the Phillies going over here in Colorado. Meanwhile, top of the 9th inning in the Bronx, the Yankees and the Rangers are tied at 3. Rangers do have a runner on with nobody out in the top of the 9th inning, but the Yankees scoring a run in the bottom of the 8th inning on an Aaron Judge single to tie the game. Yankees were down 3-1. In the bottom of the 7th, Cody Bellinger hit a solo home run to make it 3-2. And then Aaron Judge with a single in the bottom of the 8th tied the game at 3-3, and that's where we stand right now, top of the 9th inning in the Bronx. Rangers and Yankees knotted at 3. If they play extra innings, this is something to keep an eye on, how late this game goes tonight, because both of these teams have an early turnaround tomorrow. It is a 12:35 Eastern time first pitch in the Bronx, so we'll keep an eye on how late this game goes tonight. Well, speaking of tomorrow, you can start your day with an edge and a game plan. The VSiN Daily Morning Bets podcast is your first look at the day's betting line, sharp action, and market movement. In just 15 minutes, you'll get everything you need to make smarter wagers and stay ahead of the line moves, all before your morning coffee's gone. Hosted by VSiN's team of trusted betting experts, the Daily Morning Bets podcast is fast, focused, and built for bettors like you. Listen to the VSiN Daily Morning Bets podcast wherever you get your podcasts or on the VSiN Watch app. I'm Scott Seidenberg. This is VSiN PrimeTime.
If you work in quality control at a candy factory, you know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger. Grainger helps you find the high-quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
According to Saltus Wealth, 41% of high net worth individuals report having been victims of financial crime. Are you next? High-profile individuals like you need more than off-the-shelf solutions. You need concierge digital security from Reputation Defender. It's not just another app. It's a team of experts using best-in-class tools to protect you and your family, covering virtually every aspect of your digital life. Visit reputationdefender.com/success to learn more. That's reputationdefender.com/success.